Right. Recently, during my personal meditations, I've been getting the sense of everything is light. Light like a light bulb or a great brilliance. And it's very different from what I used to get, which was basically everything is dark, void, stillness. I mean, there's still stillness, and there's still the aspect of that everything is based, excuse me, based on love. But I'm curious, do other people get the different um, things happening to them over the years? I'm sure they must.
Well, we know that other people, well, we know that you do. And when you do, there's bound to be others who do, and probably others who don't.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, what
Yeah.
is it? What is it that you want to know by such a question?
Whether a valid, it's a valid awakening or not, basically, or part of my awakening. It certainly feels that way, but I'm still a little skeptical.
So how would you determine if something was valid? If it happened to other people, then it was valid, and if it only happened to you, then it's not?
Well, that's certainly one aspect of it. Yeah.
So imagine if Buddha used such a criteria.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, I don't suggest that as a criteria.
Hmm.
I mean, it's interesting to find out. It's nothing wrong with asking and finding out, but it's just I couldn't help but wonder about that validation piece. And what's valid mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
Valid is always based in a criteria for um, you could say for knowing that you're part of, either being openly accepted by, or just on your side knowing that you're part of
Hmm.
a group
Yeah.
that has decided that those criteria are valuable to them or mean something to them. So if you find another group, you will have different criteria, and they will decide whether, or those criteria, let's just say, will decide whether something is valid or not. Right?
Yeah.
So you could do like either pick a group and then work real hard to try to get their like blessing, or for yourself to know that you're in alignment with what they're experiencing. You can do that and spend your time doing that, and that will either have fruit or not have fruit. You'll either feel good or not about it. Or you can have an experience and go seek out the groups that already consider what your experience is as valid, and go on a journey like that too, trying to find those groups. Or you could just have your experience and say, this is what's happening for me.
Hmm.
And because it's happening for me, it's my truth right now.
Okay.
I mean, in terms of validity, because that's what you said. You said,
Right.
is this a valid thing? You're skeptical, meaning what does skeptical mean?
That other people don't agree.
Okay. So you're doing their job for them by being skeptical for them?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
But it happened to you, no?
Yes.
So what's there to be skeptical about?
Well, nothing, I guess. I mean, either I accept it as it is, which is really what I've been doing.
Yeah, but what if you didn't accept it? Would it still be what it is?
Yes.
So yeah, um, it's interesting to me though that it happened. So what do you think it means? What's your sense of things with that? What's the shift in perspective that you went from void to shining light? Everything is light. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
This happens in meditation, or it happens now?
Well, I see it happening now.
No. And can you describe what you're experiencing now?
Just that all there is in my field of perception, if you will,
Yes.
is just a light shining. It's not just a light, but it's like a real brilliant, brilliant one. You know, like if you have a car that's you have all chromed up and polished and everything, and you see the sun glinting on the chrome, and it's
Yes.
real bright and brilliant. That's
Yes.
that's what I'm saying.
Yes. So it's shining, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of words that are translated into English as this word God, right?
Yeah.
And one of the words that's translated as God is when you, if you're um, translating writings by Hindu people from Sanskrit, uh, there's this word Deva, and Deva literally means shining one. So Western scholars decided to translate it as God, G-O-D, small g, usually. The shining ones, the gods. But yeah, that word shining ones has a lot of significance in Hinduism as, or in Indian traditions, as experienced as, either as a particular, like there's a place that I'm seeing and things are shining there, and there's a feeling sense of radiance there. That's like a shining one. Or if the entire field becomes shining, then that would be, in Hinduism, often that's the evidence of the goddess. Yeah. It's, you know, the radiance of unity, really. It's
Yes.
relaxing into the way in which all of the sense fields are non-separate, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah. Some people call it bhava samadhi. It's another
Hmm.
term, technical term. See, now you got all kinds of validations. You're in touch with devas and you're in touch with bhava samadhi. Do you feel validated?
Absolutely.
Good, excellent, good. So, um, void is beyond the senses. The shining light is the transcendence of individual sense perception in the field of perception. So, usually this is understood as Shiva and Shakti if we're going to use mythological language. But, it really depends on the school. I mean, some schools will say, Shakti has two aspects, the void aspects and the shining aspect. And other people, and then if you, like if for instance, the goddess schools in India, the Shakta schools, if you ask them, particularly the non-dual Shakta schools, which is most of them are non-dual, they'll say that, the goddess has two aspects. One is shining and the other one is void, and the void aspect they call Shiva. They say, oh yeah, and that's her aspect called Shiva. So they just, they're just interested in understanding everything as a goddess, right? And then the Shivites will say, oh yeah, that's all Shiva. He has two aspects. One is void, and the other aspect is this shining that becomes all this phenomenality. And that shining aspect is called the goddess. They don't really disagree. They just have a different emphasis, the way of saying. That's, mythological talk. But, within the void is stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when stuff is recognized, or you could say when, you could describe it in different ways. You could say when it's recognized as one, the differences become outshone in the oneness. The oneness outshines the differences. And that's experienced as light. Or you could say, as your level of consciousness vibrates at a higher frequency, you become aware of the universe as energy. Say it that way, it's more yogic sounding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that all sounds good to me.
Good. Just enjoy, huh?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.